I love the enthusiasm. Let's go to MMA news.
Let's do
it. We talked about this last night, essentially.
But we have to talk about it.
We got to talk about it in MMA news. Yeah. So the details around Jon Jones' arrest have come out. And I'm just going to give the gist of it. I'm not going to pull it up. You know, I'm sure everybody's heard this a lot over this last week, so we're just going to skim over it. I'm not going to try to downplay it, but you know what I mean. Essentially, Jon Jones goes out, parties with his homies, shows up at the hotel room at 5 a.m. Argument ensues with his wife. Some people did some things.
Some people did something? We got to have that on here.
I know, that's got to be that would be a good one. Yeah, but some people did some things. His wife and one of her kids goes down to the security guard. She's looking a little beat up, has a flat, bloody lip, got some blood on her dress, and she looks a little shaken. The security officer asks her if she's all right. She starts crying, says, I don't want to go back up to my room. I don't feel safe there. Jon Jones is acting crazy. And then the kid goes up to the security guard and goes, can you please call the police? And that's essentially what we're hearing from that side of the story.
Well, and then the police
show up. Yeah, well, they find Jon Jones. They try to talk to him, try to arrest him. And Jon Jones, as he's getting arrested, struggling with police, says, how dare you arrest me on the biggest night of my life or something like that.
When I was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. How dare you arrest me? And I'd love to see, if I had these cuffs off, how many of you I could take on.
And then headbutted a fucking cop car window and shattered it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the guy doesn't think about any repercussions. He's a sociopath. He is an absolute narcissist. And he just genuinely doesn't give a shit about anyone. Not even his own kids, not his fiance. I mean, to literally do what he did allegedly.
Yeah,
because it has to be proven in court, and I understand that. So all of this is alleged until proven guilty. But if he allegedly did what they're saying he did, it is so crazy to me that you could even say that after doing that to someone that you love. And then you go, oh, well, how dare you? Do you know who I am? I'm Jon Jones. I was inducted in the UFC Hall of Fame. That just goes to show that this guy is a complete sociopath.
Yeah, he's a narcissist.
He's insane. And I hope he gets help. But how many fucking times have we repeated that on this podcast? It ain't ever going to change, folks. It ain't ever going to change. So you know what? Whatever, dude. Fuck you. I'm not a fan of you. I don't think I ever will be. It's a pattern. It's a pattern that consistently does not change. And I'm all about forgiveness. I'm all about giving people second chances. But when you're on your 9th chance in a matter of 6 years, you can go eat a bag of dicks, because I'm over it. I'm over it, and I'm over him. I don't care to ever see him fight again, if I'm being honest. As far as an athlete, as far as, one of the best to ever do it, I'd love to watch that, but I don't care if he fights ever again. The heavyweight division's stacked. You got a lot of really great fights coming up, and this guy needs to get mentally well. He needs to maybe go see a fucking therapist with his tens of millions of dollars and maybe try to change his life, because it's like, grow up, dude. Grow up. What are you, a 35, 36-year-old man, and you can't figure it out? You can't get out of trouble? When are you going to grow up, dude?
Gideon, how many Instagram posts has there been since this incident? I know there was the one on his story where he was working out talking about how he can't drink alcohol because he has too much brain trauma and stuff like that. So has there been more?
So there was one that he posted with his wife where she was smiling, uncomfortably smiling. And he was staring at her, and it was the love of my life. I'd never do anything to hurt you.
That was eerie. That was such a creepy video, because you could tell
she was so fucking uncomfortable in that video. You could tell he was yeah, we're going to take this. My PR guy said we need it. Smile.
Well, and that's what it was. They go like this, literally. They go, smile at the camera, turn to each other, kiss, and then smile at the camera. And I'm like, oh my God, does he have a gun to her side? What the fuck is going on? She looks she doesn't look comfortable to be there. It looked extremely forced. And I'm not saying that he actually did force her. There was a joke, allegedly, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't look natural, is what I'm trying to say. That just didn't look natural. And it was, and what? Why would you do, why? Why? What are you trying to prove with that video? Oh, yeah, no, look, she gave me a kiss, so Let bygones be bygones. Like, what the hell are you trying to? Why not? This guy will never admit that it's his fault ever. He's full of excuses. He always blames other things, other circumstances. Oh, I should quit drinking too much. No, it's not the drinking. It's you. Like, when are you going to take accountability? This guy will never take accountability ever for anything. Anything.
Well, I mean, just on that, like, we can talk about his very first fucking Instagram post. Immediately after the incident, he posts a pic. I don't think he has a PR team. Like, there's no way a good PR guy would be like, hey, man, just post a fucking video of you benching and just say you're sorry on that, like, in the captions.
Whoever gave...
Wow, the song from Toy Story, My Best Friend plays. No. Who the fuck told you that was a good idea? Who is it?
Somebody had to have told him that. Like, I don't, or he's just that fucking dumb. Well, is he just that dense? Like, he would do that himself?
I don't think he has a PR team. There's just no way. There is no way a good PR guy would be like, yeah, that looks all right. Like, no fucking chance.
Hey, John, you know what? Me being your PR guy, you know what you should really do? So I really think it's a good idea. We all the news and media heard about this. So please, in the car, when you have your wife in the car, just make a video. Smile, make sure you guys are really happy and smiling, and then kiss and then smile at the camera. I'm telling you, people will eat it up, John. They will love it. It'll be the best thing ever. It'll be the best thing ever for your career, and people will just forget, and they'll love you for it. Like, I don't understand the thought process that goes in this guy's head. And then it's like, why would you publicly, like, do that to someone who just allegedly suffered that sort of trauma? Like, and then you're going to put her in the public eye like that? Like, what are you even thinking? Like, do you even think about anyone else? Do you think about her and the fact that she probably, and I don't want to make assumptions for her, but I mean, it's just not a good situation. It just didn't look good, and it was just awkward and weird, and I don't know. It's such a shit show with this guy all the time, and I'm kind of just over it. I'm kind of over talking about it. It's just draining. This guy's an asshat.
Let's not talk about him.
Okay.
But let's talk about the UFC in this situation. Like, a lot of people are calling for him to just be cut from the roster, get away from this, get away from the BR. What is Dana doing? Why is Dana not just doing anything? And it's like, the UFC historically has been a innocent until proven guilty kind of organization, and they will wait out until things have played out, especially in the U.S. courts. So let's just I guess my question is, what do you think is going to happen? Like,
so realistically, I think, look, there's a pattern here, and one thing that you missed out of the details of this story is that the police went up to the room. And when the police showed up, she said that, oh, I'm high up, I have a nosebleed, right?
Yeah, she started defending him.
Yeah, they noticed a swollen lip, and they noticed blood also on the bed. Look, here's the thing. That is defending someone like that, and I'm not putting, of course, I want to make this very clear. I'm not blaming her at all for that, because that's a very tough situation. We see
it happens pretty common, actually. A lot of victims defend their abusers.
Right, because, they think that they love them and this and that. And, like, my heart goes out. Like, if that really did allegedly happen, like, that's awful. And I hope to God that he can get some help, and that, she could, like, separate from the guy, because that's not a healthy relationship if that did happen. But it just sucks. It just sucks, man. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's...
Well, so on the UFC side, like...
Oh, UFC side.
Well, what do you think? What's going to happen in the courts, essentially? Is anything going to be done about this, or is he just going to pay some fines, do some community service, and then next thing you know, he's headlining a pay-per-view a month later?
That really depends. One, I'm not familiar with Nevada state law as how his domestic violence is prosecuted.
I mean, they were both misdemeanor charges, apparently.
Right. Apparently they are. And again, it's in a hotel room. There were no cameras around, so we don't know what ensued in that room. I don't know how Nevada does their whole prosecution thing, so it really just depends. But as far as what the UFC will do, innocent until proven guilty. If they do not convict John Jones of anything, then he fights on, and it's business as usual, which sucks.
I think it's
business as usual.
I think it's business as usual, and I don't really blame the UFC for that. Like, if they're not going to convict him in a court of law, what is the UFC supposed to do?
I don't even think there will ever be a court. Maybe there will be some settlements or something. He'll end up probably just doing a fine and community service, and then on with the next fight.
Yeah,
I think that's what's going to happen.
It's
unfortunately,
sad,
it is sad. I mean, what can be done, really?
Yeah.
Like, unless
I mean,
he
he's never
fucking
going to learn
almost
his
killed
lesson.
someone.
Is the thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst
No.
part. He's never going to learn his lesson.
Nope.
So, and we just keep going through it. At this point, the UFC is more of an enabler than they are anything else. Like the only way this guy gets any true help is if they cut him and show them that there are repercussions to your actions, and it won't happen.
No, that's not what you do. You don't cut John Jones. You don't cut John Jones because then you'll sign with some other organization. What you do is keep him under contract and don't sign a fight to him. So then he's got to serve out his contract term. And that's actually the most damning thing you can do to a guy who's 35, 36 years old is keeping him under contract until he's 39, 40 years old. And then good luck. Go try to find a fight. Go try to do whatever.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
On the UFC side of that, the UFC is written in their contracts that they have to offer at least 3 fights a year to every fighter. So it's written into their contract. So what would they do? I guess they would just be like, hey, Dominic Reyes rematch for fucking $100K. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, you can offer a guy and he'll turn him down. And knowing how narcissistic John Jones is, if he doesn't like the contract, if he doesn't like the fight, you don't think he's not going to accept it. He won't accept those fights. So, it is what it is. Like, I'm kind of over it. And there's better news to talk about, more uplifting news for the MMA community.
It is what it is.